Good morning. How you doing, fam? Doing good? I need to hear it. How you doing? See, I don't think you understand. I'm excited and ready to preach today. So how are you doing? Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Let's go. Yes. But before I even get started, we probably need to, let's clear this up a little bit. This one's going to step on toes. Are you okay with that? Are you okay? I need to hear it. Are you okay? Okay, your fault. What happened's your fault right now, okay? I'm going to tell you. Man, I've been beating myself up all week long with this, and truly, God has transformed me. And I really know He's going to do the same for you, and I hope that you are ready to receive the Word. I hope you're ready to get offended. I hope you're ready to be bothered, because God's sovereignty is irritating. It is uncomfortable when you begin to look at a holy God, and put ourselves in the same mix. We have to be able to admit that just maybe we need some stuff. Just maybe we need Him to speak to us. Just maybe we need His guidance. We need His Word more than ever. And as I begin to move through this week, nothing's been more apparent than that. It's been like just boom. And so we're talking about letting go, and this is week 4 of letting go. Let go, right? Do you remember what week 1 was? Distractions. Week 2? Bitterness. Week 3, last week? Past, letting go of past. Now remember, we're not letting go of the good things in our past. We're letting go of those things that the enemy is trying to tell us about our identities. And then this week is letting go of our stuff. Letting go of our idols, of the junk in our life. And this one's going to be hard to hear. And I'm going to right now give you the synopsis. This is not about tithe. So it's okay. You can still tune in. It's not about tithe. Everybody's okay. He's like, man, he took him, 2 months of being here and he's already talking about tithe. Yeah, well, not really. But I'm talking about what weighs us down, these things that weigh us down, and we begin to pull these things through our life, and all it does is keeps us from being who God really wants us to be. And so as we're moving through this next part, because next week is not going to get any better. It's on letting go of control. Some of you are already planning on not being here next week after I just said that. I probably shouldn't have told you that then. But this week is letting go of those things. It's better to have less. This is going to be this, write this down. It's better to have less of what doesn't matter and more of what does matter. It sounds simple, but it's not. So let's say it together. It's better to have what? Keep going, yeah. You guys actually did that really good. And this has been an issue starting all the way back from the beginning. This has been all the way back in Genesis. You see he's created, and then immediately he lost his keys, and he couldn't find his keys, so he needed his wife, he needed a helpmate, and so then God brings helpmate in there. No, it's so much more. And in this move, they begin to look for the tree and the fruit. They're given all access to everything but one tree. And what is it? It's that one tree that they decide that they want. And this is what happens in our lives. We go through and we're just not satisfied with certain things. That we're looking for better. And this is how I grew up. I grew up believing that more and better, and I need this, and I have to continue to do more. If $1 is good, $2 is right. That's right. If one car is good, 2 cars are. That's right. One child's good. Well, it's kind of still up in the air on that one. No 2 kids are better. We did that. We know. More's better. I got into this mode, and it wasn't I'll not Skittles for a 12-year-old. And it wasn't just that bag I thought was good enough. So I went through and I mowed through that bag, but then I began to go through bag number 2. And as I began to go through bag number 2, probably about 60% through bag number 2, my body began to do something that I've never felt it do before in that way, and it began to reject the next Skittle violently. And I began to taste the rainbow, as Joey would say. And I'll never forget the most beautiful colors that were spewing out of my mouth as I was looking at people in the mall, just like, they had fountains back then. Do you remember fountains in the mall? If you don't, it was me. I was the fountain. And I'm just turning and just spewing this beautiful rainbow all over Animas Valley Mall. I'll never forget it. It was so embarrassing. And, the girl you like's walking by and you're like, hi. It's like, man, I can't wait. She's going to go out with me. And in this principle, there's this verse, and Solomon says it, because I think we can get caught up in the same mindset, and it's in Ecclesiastes, and it says, better is one handful of tranquility than 2 handfuls of toil and chasing after the wind. Better is one handful with tranquility than 2. I got to more and more. I got to have more. Better is one handful. Now, this is Solomon. He's a smart man. Well, Brown Thursday already happened, and then Black Friday happened, and now we're on Cyber Monday and whatever else we could think of. I get it, but trust me, this is a moment for you right now to say that's enough. It's not about stuff. It's not about possessions. Man, your life cannot consist of stuff. And trust me, everything in this culture will tell you different. Everything is saying, no, you've got to have more. You need more. You don't believe me? If you watched a football game, wait till them commercials come on. It doesn't say what you need to do is give more to the poor, give more away, give more, love more people. You never see that, do you? But you see plenty of greed, and you see plenty of 2 hands of just turmoil and toil. You just see it. It's more. This bothers me because I'm that person. That's me. Oh, pastor. Well, you wanted an honest pastor. I mean, this is good sometimes for me, but let's just be honest, I'm always looking too. And it's been really hard on me as we moved. God's done a lot in this move with me. You should see what we've given away and thrown away and just, oh my goodness. Everything is telling us the opposite. It's saying possessions are where it's at. I need a new car. I need this. I need this bigger. I need this better. And we begin to tell ourselves, this is the lie that we tell ourselves, that what we don't have is what we need to be happy. It's never what we have. The enemy is crafty. He is crafty. I've never heard one time, at least to me, when the enemy approaches me with these things, he never says, you know that stuff you have? That's enough, Scott. You've done good. Bye-bye. No. It's always, that's not good enough. You need more. Whether it's not just about, we can tie this into money all you want, but that's not what it's about either. Don't misinterpret the text. This is very much possessions, but also when it comes to the one handful tranquility living and the two handfuls of toil, we're talking about even trying to take everything. I've got to say and do everything. I've got to be everything. I've got to do. My identity is tied into this. We begin to really consume, and all of that comes from that. And it's the enemy that puts this in front of us, and we start to just feast upon it. And before you know it, you're running down the mall. Bleh. Let me ask you this. What if the stuff you have is actually robbing you from the life that you want? What if? I have to look at this differently, because if you're looking at one hand with tranquility and peace and calmness and just an amazing life, you can see it's just so different. And if we're going to say this is what we want, rather than just, I just want to dig in more, have you noticed when you do one-handed tranquility living, you can look around? Well, what happens when you start doing that? We begin to set our focus on stuff, and we lose focus on everything around us. This is what I do, and maybe I'm different, but that's what I do. I begin to look at those things in my life. So I'm going to help you, because I'm going to help me. And I want this to help you, because if we're going to truly, let's call it tranquility living, one-handed tranquility living. If we want to get to that point, we've got to do some things that are going to be drastic. Are you ready to be more quiet? Cool. Number one, throw it out. Throw it out. When you're looking at the junk in your life, some of it is just ridiculous. I looked at my garage, and I'm like, and my closet, and I'm just like, it's ridiculous. And my goodness, I can keep piling stuff in, and I can keep. There was can I tell you? I'm too honest with them, though. Goodness gracious, they're going to hold all this against me. Listen. I already went into our new home thinking, how can I make my closet bigger for more clothes? Some of you are quiet because you like, I did the same thing. Right. But instead of me saying, how can I take these million clothes that I have, and how can I now give them to those that need them, I begin to look at trying to put a bigger home inside a home for my clothes now. My clothes have a home. My goodness. I've got it backwards too. And I have to get it right. And this week has been very convicting. Because I have to learn that I have to come to this point of saying it's not just about decluttering, it's about de-owning things. I have to de-own some stuff. And I would argue all day long that owning less is way better than organizing more. Your life does not consist of stuff. And there's this guy in the New Testament, they call him the rich young ruler. And we're going to talk about him for a little bit. And Jesus said something to him that just blew me away. And see, when we hear rich young ruler, the first thing we do is say, oh, this is about money. No, you've misread the text. That's not. I want you to take it slowly and listen and take it chunk and just piece after piece. Because there's this moment where Jesus is talking to him. And it's a powerful moment because Jesus knows him. And he knows the depth of this man. And he knows that this man is about to ask him about a spiritual life. How do I get right with you? This man says. Jesus said, you need to go sell your stuff, take that money, give it to the poor. And he said, then you'll have treasures in heaven. In other words, you'll have less of the stuff that doesn't matter and more of the stuff that does. So Jesus says this to him, and this man is just broken now. This young guy's broken. Because even when he asked, he said, how can I inherit? See, he's got all the money. He wants to own heaven. His mind was already, his thought process wasn't even there yet. And Jesus knew it, so Jesus hit him with that red writing of okay, then here's what you do. Now, he's not saying everybody here needs to sell all your stuff, and that's not what he said, but he knew that it wasn't just about what this man had, but it was that what he had him. And it was all about that. When your stuff has you, when your life is defined by your stuff, when you believe that more stuff is actually what you need to be fulfilled spiritually. There is something meaningful and just something powerful, something that's going to fill this void if I can just, I've got to say it, if I just click on buy now on Amazon. Can I be honest with you when I'm writing sermons? See, I'm being way too honest. I typed that out and then I backspaced it out because I didn't want to talk about Amazon because that's my thing. I'm like, no, I don't want to talk about that. I'm honest, man. But as I backspaced, God was like, oh, I see, just when it doesn't have to do with you, you're okay with it. And I'm like, Amazon, buy now button, sorry. Man, when my stuff has me. See, if I dig to the root of when my stuff has me, I get to see it's something far deeper spiritually. It's something I'm missing. I have got this huge spiritual, God-sized hole in my chest that I am trying to shove Amazon into. That's really what it is. Don't show me a picture of a gun, because I'm thinking I've got to buy it. That's got to be my next purchase. Don't show me something new for my Jeep. Oh my goodness. That's horrible that you would even think that, you guys. The only thing that can fill that spiritual void is the goodness of God and His grace. That's it. There's two big reasons that we don't throw out, though. There's two big reasons we don't throw out our little knickknacks. This is why we have so many dishes. This is why you have 2 people in your house that sit down and eat, and you have 45 dishes. I'm saying you because I'm pointing at me, because I just went through my garage. You guys, this is why you have VHS tapes. Y'all don't even have a VCR. This is why you still have those MC Hammer pants, just in case they come back into style. Yeah. 2 reasons why we don't want to throw out. The first one is fear. Fear. That's our first one. What if we're going to need it in the future? Right? Are you living with somebody that's always saying that? Don't point at them, just raise your hand. Yeah, I saw, okay. Gene's not here. You can raise your hand. Yeah, there you go. Okay. There we go. That's it, fear. And this is how I grew up, because we grew up in a poverty mindset. My wife and I, we always compare each other, who was the poorest growing up, you know. We always battle back and forth. And I always tell her, well, we played stick. And she's like, what's that? And I said, we had a stick and played with it. She's like, okay, you win. But this was my mindset, that I cannot give up anything, because if I give it up, then what if we need it? And there was a real fear there of not trusting God in what He's provided in my life. Because there was moments where God was asking me to give something away and I wouldn't do it in fear of, what if I need it? I'm not the only one. I can tell by your faces. This happened to everybody, right? Okay, cool. Yeah. And this was me because I'm so afraid of needing it. So we changed as my wife and I, we went through this change of like, we're not going to do this anymore. You know, we're going to start helping people out. We're going to start giving more. So we even started doing, when I say we, I mean her making me do it, okay? Let's get that clear right now. She is a far better person than I am. So when I say we, it's her. But now when we buy a new jacket, we have to give one away. Mm-hmm. When we get new shoes, I got you a second. We have to give a pair of shoes away. But this is what we've learned to do. Like, this is something that we said, this is it. But what if I need it in the future? Well, I trust God to provide for me. So why don't we give is because of fear. That's the first reason. Second reason is because of sentiment. We don't give because of sentiment. Sentiment. Did I say that right? Okay. Because if I've noticed, well, at least when I went through okay, we went through my garage and I cleaned everything out. And so then I got a pile of Chase's stuff over here, and I got a pile of Chase's stuff over here, and then I got a pile of Charlie's stuff. Chase is like his mama. Anyway, I'm just kidding. He's just like me. There's a pile of stuff in our garage. And then Charlie has this pile. And so we began to go through it and throw stuff away. And they called me out on it, just panicked. What are you doing? That's our blah, blah, blah. This is when we were this. This is when I got my participation medal in there. I'm like, are you kidding me? Do you really care about that? Yeah, I do. I'm like, okay. So we took everything. We piled it up into our car. Packed. Our car is packed of all the stuff. And we took it to them. And we said, then here you go. How long did it take them to go through it? Like 5 hours? Hours and hours to go through it. I bet you they got a backpack full. They didn't want it either. They wanted me to have it, sentiment, but they didn't want it. And this is what happens. We begin so connected to certain things that we're like, but this is my baby's diaper, first diaper. And I'm like, well, that's what's been stinking in our house. You've had that under our bed for how long? We watched this Netflix series with this Marie Kondo. I forgot, was it Tidying Up? Have you seen it? It's great. It's great if you don't know and you want to really feel horrible about yourself. It's great. So you take all of your stuff, all your clothes, and you put it on your bed. And then you sit back and you look at it. And that's the worst feeling in the world, by the way, because that's calling you out sick. And it does not feel good. And you're looking at it all, and then you begin to go through it. And what she says is, I love the way she challenges you to say, you just thank God for it. You just say, you thank God and say, thank you that this is in my life, and then you let it go. Thank you that you brought this into my life, and you let it go. And you begin to just thank you, God, for these things, and you let it go. Thank you for this roommate drew this picture for me back in college, and now I'm going to let it go. Thank you for this poopy diaper that I'm going to let go into the dumpster that I don't need anymore. We're going to let it go. Thank you, God. Or just thank you, I want to bless somebody else. I want to bless other people in my life because I understand that better is one-handed tranquility living than two hands of toil. Better, one handful with tranquility. Better is one handful than two. The second thing, so first thing we're to do is what? Are you guys ready for the next one? Okay, I got to get warm for this one. Second one we're going to do is we're going to buy less. 62% of people actually admit to shopping to cheer themselves up. Any other 62%ers in here? All right. There's 48% are lying. They're sitting in here. Yeah, And because we feel down or we feel depressed and we think we need to cheer ourselves up. And actually what they said, it's a new thing out now that's happening in our, what's it called, dopamine? Is that? Oh, man, I hope I'm saying that right. Hope I'm not saying something weird. But it's in your system that actually starts to come out as you shop. And it says what is happening is this is a form of entertainment now. Shopping is entertainment. That you are now going to be entertained just like you would go to watch a movie. They're saying now there's not that much risk in a movie anymore that you shop because there's a risk involved of being poor. And you don't even realize you're doing it. This is what happens. I got to have something new. I got to have something clean. Shopping I feel powerful. Got nothing to wear. Man, we find our identity and a significance in buying something with money that we don't have to impress people we don't even like. Something about that gives us this satisfaction and this high. I love what Solomon says in Psalms 119, verse 36 and 37. God calls my heart to bow before your words of wisdom and not to the wealth of this world. I need to pray this all the time. Help me turn my eyes away from illusion, from vanity, so that I may pursue only that which is true. Help me turn my eyes. Another version says, away from meaningless things. Help me turn my eyes away from meaningless things. I want to get to a place in my life that I am so full of the goodness of God that I don't need anything else to make me feel better. Nothing else to define who I am. I wish you could see your faces. Because I know mine look like this all week, so that's why I'm excited about it. Yeah. In our home, what we've decided what we're going to start doing is choosing experiences over things. Because things just, I'll be honest again, here we go again, man. We bought my son, you guys can give him a hard time about this next week. We bought my son these joggers and these pants he wanted, and we spent probably $100 at Old Navy. And then that calendar year for school ended, that semester ended, and so I went to go help him move. And I pulled a drawer out with all brand new pants and tags and everything still on them. And he even said, you could throw those away. And I'm like, Charlie, I got those for you. And he's like, oh, I think he didn't realize that was from us. He's like, oh, yeah, you can leave them. I'll wear them. I'm like, nah. But at that moment, it really opened my eyes that we need more experience living rather than stuff. I asked them this week, I said, what is your deepest childhood memory? And they said, you know what, Scott, it was when I got the iPhone 27. That was my deepest, I was so close to God in that moment. That's not what they said. They said, Gavin said it was riding in the back of a pickup when his grandpa would drive it, and they would go, and they got to ride in the back. This was back when you could do that. And they would slam on the brakes. His grandpa would slam on the brakes, and they kept flying to the front. It was so much fun for him. He said, I'll never forget it. And I'm like, that's what happened to you, kid. I was trying to figure it out this whole time. Now I know. Yeah. You hit your head a few times, didn't you, Gavin? And then I asked Chase, and Chase said, it had to be, I used to do quarter-mile racing at a track. And he said, it had to be going to the racetrack with you. And we would go out to the racetrack and we'd ice your supercharger on your truck, and we would get all the slicks and everything on your truck, and then we'd push it up. We wouldn't even start. You remember? And then you'd peel out and race. He goes, I'll never forget that time of just hanging out. And then Charlie, my gifted son, I love the most, said this. I'm just kidding. He said tea time. And for those of you that don't know what tea time is, every day after school, I would take them, Charlie and Chase, out to the backyard, and we would get a tea and just talk about our day. It wasn't about things. It wasn't about stuff. Amen. It was about experiences. And I'm wondering, what am I holding on to in my life, that stuff that I've not let go of, that I could bless somebody else so they could have an experience in their life? Oof. I'm going to buy less. Buy less, right? That's number 2. And then finally, our last one, we're going to give more. We're going to give more. Oh, here he goes. He's bent into tithing. Nope, you still haven't got it yet. Still not there. Go to Timothy. Go to 1 Timothy 6:17. It says, command those who are rich in the present world. I'm going to stop real quick there, because a lot of times when we hear this, we immediately think we're not who the Scripture is talking about. Right? We're like, oh, it's so-and-so's rich. Oh, so-and-so over here is rich. Oh, these people, that's who I know, they're rich. No, if you drove a car here today, you're rich. Do you realize that if you drove a car here, you're in the top 4 to 7% of the most wealthiest people in this world? Do you know that? And you go up even higher if you have a $20 bill in your pocket. You go up, that's crazy to think about, right? We are the rich they're talking about, just so you know. You may not be richest or richer more richer than the other richers, but you're still rich. You're still part of this verse that they're talking about. So embrace it, internalize it, feel it, got it? Okay, you're the rich. Command to those who are rich. Command those. This is us, present world, not to be arrogant nor to put their hope in wealth, which is so uncertain. But where are we to put our hope? In God. We put our hope in God, who does what? Who richly provides us with everything for our enjoyment. We don't feel guilty about the blessings that God's given us. That's not what this sermon's about. All good things come from above. You can definitely have amazing, nice things, and you can own nice stuff as long as your nice stuff does not own you. Amen. Are we seeing the difference now? I don't need to get an email this week saying, oh no, I put up countertops and you got mad at me. No, I didn't say that. I'm so proud of you. But what I'm also saying is, as long as that does not become your identity and you are doing it to keep up with so-and-so, or you are doing it to look better to so-and-so, or to make yourself feel better. This is what I've been dealing with all week. It says, command those rich people to do good, to be rich in good deeds, to be generous and willing to share. In this way, they will lay up treasures for themselves as a firm foundation for the coming age, so they may take hold of the life that is truly life. This is it. This is what it is. It's about giving more. I have never in my life heard an emotional story about getting, always getting. Oh, I was at Starbucks and the person in front of me bought me my drink. Close to God, Jesus. You don't hear that. I need to get this. If I had a 75-inch TV, then man, I could just see me. I could watch The Chosen. Bigger and bigger. Yeah, that's it. Right, hon? Will you fall for that? No, it's still not. It's amazing how we begin to say, these stories, we need this stuff, but you don't hear those getting emotional stories. When I got that iPhone 26, and it used to scramble my eggs for me, and it went and it does my laundry. I love it. I need more. You don't hear those stories. You don't even hear keeping stories. I was just about to give a sacrificial offering to help eradicate Bible poverty all over the world, and I decided I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take my friends to J&L's for lunch, and I just feel so much better about that. You don't hear that, right? I must be needling in on something now because, I used to see your faces. I'm getting there now. You just don't hear those stories. But what I do hear, I don't hear, because I've heard this. They're not here today, so this is really good. I have a refrigerator that I had, and I know I have this single mom who needs it, and I'm so glad that I left it in my garage, and I even sometimes forget I even have it in there, but I feel so good that I have it in there. I feel very secure that it's in there. She could really use this for her and her kids, but it holds my Gatorade. And I don't hear those, but I do hear emotional stories about giving. That's when it counts. Because I was raised with this, you got to have more. When I was raised that way, I didn't understand. So yes, I'm going to talk about tithe. This has nothing to do with what you need to do. And if this is a freebie, plug your ears, you don't want to hear about tithe. Just go like this, and I'll keep talking. But there was a moment where I got a really nice job. I was an assistant manager at Walgreens, and I was making a lot of money. I was just turned 20, and I was making a lot of money for a 20-year-old. And so I took this money, and my mom said this evil thing about tithe. And I'm like, lady, we're going to put you in a home. I don't think you understand what you're saying. And she told me about this is how you take the 10%, and this is what you do. And so I wrote a check out. A check, this is a paper thing for those of you that are younger. It's a paper thing that we used to write it. It was money, basically. Look it up. You can Google it, just like VHS tapes. And I wrote out my 10% tithe, and I put it in, and I was so freaked out until the moment that it went into the plate. And I cannot tell you the difference that I felt once it hit that bucket, because I felt so close to God. Like, I finally put faith into action. It wasn't about, it's His money. But what He can do with the 10% is far greater than I can do with the 90%. And it's all His. He's letting me have 90. And so as I begin to go through that, there was this moment of just this closeness with Him. And just giving away in general. We've given away 3 cars now? It's 3 cars. There's the Cadillac. Remember the Caddy? Oh, that's a hoopty. I don't even remember the other one. It was that little red one. Then a Dodge Durango. Yeah. See, I don't even remember the cars. But I remember those single moms. That would show up to church with their kids and get out of the car that we've given them. And to see that dad that's able to go to work now. Opens up the trunk of that little red, like Geo Metro, full of tools, so he can go to his job sites. I have those stories. There was a moment where Dee Dee and I, we weren't making a lot of money. And we started a church in Farmington, and it was at the growing stage. And we put a big amount of money in, big amount of money for us. That was huge. I always love what God does with us because we always try to agree on the same amount that we're going to give. We're going to give this big gift. We're like, okay. She's like, how much? And I'm like, let's go this. And she's like, I was thinking this. And it was like 3 times what I thought. And I'm like, Dee Dee, let's split it in half. Let's just do that, And we gave till it hurt to get that church going. We'd made a commitment. It was a 7-year commitment because it was such a big commitment that we gave. We got up to 2,000 people in that church and 220 students in that church, and it all came from starting with this gift. I have these stories. Do you have those? Because this is where it's about. This is what it is. God is calling us to be generous. I was scared putting that money in the plate every week because I knew, oh no. I've got kids that are going to go to college, and I've seen them. They're like drunk squirrels running around the house. They're not going to get a scholarship in sports, so I know that ain't going to happen. I've seen them running into stuff. And I'm thinking, how are we going to do this? They're going to need braces. They're going to be getting married at some point. They're going to need all these things, and yet we're making this huge. I just wrestled with this giving that God called us to do. But my goodness, when you make the commitment and you sacrifice like that and you give somebody a gift like that, oh my goodness, it just blows anything else away. It is such a beautiful, pure thing. All my life in my early years, I wanted to accumulate. That was it. Get more. I wanted more. Started in Albuquerque, more. I wanted more. I had to, more. Now my closets are full. Now it's going to leak over to my house. More. Now my house is full. It's going to leak over to my shed. More. Now my shed's full. Now it's leaking over into my garage where now I can't even park my cars. More. I just wanted more. But better is one handful of tranquility, of peace, than 2 handfuls of toil. This is chasing after the wind. That's all it is. I believe there's a reason why it says one hand. Because when you're one hand holding on, you have peace and you have all these amazing things, but now you've got a free hand. And you can help somebody up. You can give somebody what you have. You have an opportunity to help now. This is what happens when we do one-handed tranquility giving. Please, this is a moment you can stop chasing after the wind. I ask myself all the time, and this one was a hard one this week to really start focusing on. Am I accumulating on earth what I cannot keep? Or are you investing in heaven what you cannot lose?